What's up, everyone? On today's episode of Boat Restoration by Ben, we're throwing it back to making motor moves. I bought a piece of junk GMC 2500 HD Duramax for very cheap. Sold the Cummins and, well, it's a little rusty. And it has 240,000 miles on it. So on today's episode, I'm showing you guys everything that I would recommend you do on an old truck like this to get it back on the road, safe, and how much it's gonna cost. Alrighty, like and subscribe if you appreciate the content. Something a little bit different today, but this is the new truck of Boat Restoration by Ben. It is just rusty everywhere. And I think it has a little bit of frame rot. So, I bought this truck, 240,000 miles on it. The guy said it ran and drove well. It had very little rust. Told me about the cab, traditional cab corner rust, which he put covers over. But if you look down below, you can see a little bit of the cab corner rust, which is fine. I can deal with that. Another whole thing, reeks of smoke in here. So this entire carpet, which also has, I think, like a full gallon jug of diesel, anti-gel, injector cleaner, whatever, spilled into it. I can smell that as well. This carpet is all coming out, and I bought a brand new carpet from Auto Customs Carpets for this exact truck. What is this truck? This is a 2004 GMC 2500 HD Duramax, 6.6 Duramax LLY. We're also going to go through all of the things that you should do on an LLY truck to get it to a reliable state. The truck as is, ran and drove. The guy drove it down from Massachusetts, 8 hours to get here. I think it was maybe 9 or 10 hours actually. Ran and drove fine. Only problem was when I hopped in the truck, terrible tire rub on these front tires because it had these big old meaty tires from a newer Duramax Denali with these spacers on it. And I've had my fair share of bad luck with wheel spacers and adapters, so those came off the truck immediately. Not to mention there was a horrible, horrible rattle and popping noise when I was driving the truck. Turned out to be the parking brakes. Parking brakes were rattling inside the drums because they were loose. It started to hone this drone out because the brake dust shields are completely rusted and gone. So, oh, hey, there's a hole. Yep, another big rusty hole. So anyway, these wheels came off. They're getting sold. I'm going to put the stock aluminum nice wheels on this truck that are the proper size. But anyway, I was going to just run and drive it right off the bat. It is the new truck of Making Motor Moves / Boat Restoration by Ben. However, I didn't feel safe on the road. So first thing I did was put the truck on jack stands, pull off all the tires, pull off all the old brakes and rotors, and replaced, or started making a list. And that started with new rotors, new brake calipers, new brake caliper mounts, new brakes, new wheel hub on this side. Can't quite tell it's new, but you see the shiny metal there? That is new. New knuckle, new steering knuckle up here. The old steering knuckle, super rusty. Probably had some years left. I didn't like it. Bought a new one. It was fairly cheap. There's the old wheel hub. We'll get to those in a second. This side, look, knuckle has already been replaced, and it already has a new wheel hub. So, all looks good there. What else? I pulled the inner liners off because they were rubbing like crazy on these big old massive tires. I'll get new liners after the new quarter panels go on. So I pulled off the old fender flare caps, and to what did I find? Was just a whole mess of rust underneath the fender flares. Not to mention, God knows what, sitting back there, rusting away. I can't stand it. So, ripped those off as soon as I possibly could and ordered 2 new front quarter panels for the truck. So, those are gonna go back on once I get the rest of the brakes and hubs and rotors and knuckles all put back together. I just did this side. I wanted to show you guys this before I got too more involved. This is key. When I was driving this truck around for the short period that I did, I'd press the brakes and very sluggish, not to mention the anti-lock brakes kicked on every single time to try and stop this truck. That's not good. That shouldn't be happening. Went to go look at these, brakes were toasted, everything's rusted, the hubs and the rotors were all rusted out. So get rid of that, start fresh, get new wheel hubs, get new rotors, and get new brake calipers and brakes. Not to mention a new ABS sensor on this side. And it looks like this upper control arm has also been replaced as well. Again, new knuckle, new painted knuckle. Very key to being safe. What else on this truck? He had torqued the torsion bars. So these 2004 trucks came with torsion bars, independent front suspension on the front axle. He's got them torqued all the way up so he could fit the bigger tires. I'm going to torque them back down so I can fit stock tires and no more rough suspension on the front. I may have to replace keys back underneath the truck if that's the case, if they are too toasted. But anyway, on these 2004, really 2001 to 2007 trucks, what are you typically going to find? Rust in the rocker panels, rust at the rear or underside of the cab. Your cab mounts are probably going to be toast as well. Look, that one is really toast. They're all toast. So I actually bought brand new cab mounts for the truck. So it's going to get new cab mounts. Typically, you don't see this much rust. This is a Northeastern truck. Look, I've got a spot back here where the frame is slightly rotten, so I'm going to have to address that. It appears right here the truck is very clean as far as frame goes, but typically on these trucks, the frames can rot on this back portion here. So check that out. This one's not terrible, but does need to be dressed slightly. The rear bed quarter panels, they also like to rust. This one's not terrible. It's got some holes in the middle. However, back here is fine. I'm going to leave this for now. I may end up replacing these. Good things on this truck. 2004 and a half to 2005 was the LLY Duramax. This truck itself has a couple things that are iffy with it. It has a cooling issue if your cooling pack gets too caked up full of stuff. So we're gonna pull that apart, clean the whole cooling package. Not to mention there is a down pipe, or the inlet pipe for the turbocharger, which is under here. You can't quite see it. I don't think mine has been replaced, but it's real restrictive on intake airflow. Definitely recommend replacing that. I bought the remake one off of Amazon. So a couple things on the engines. I'll get back to that. It is not an LBZ. The LBZ, they beefed up a little bit, but it does have a good fuel system. It's got the largest VGT turbo they put on these trucks. Overall, this can be a really reliable engine. It just needs a few tweaks on it, and this one, thankfully, shifts super smooth. Engine is in really good shape. Drivetrain's in good shape. We're gonna clean up a few things, flush fluids, yada, yada, yada. It's got 240,000 miles, so it's probably good to take care of those things. Let's see, underneath, you know, pretty typical. What really sparked my eye with this truck was the fact that it's never been modified mechanically. So the truck itself, one owner for a very long time, some guy in between owned it, sold it to me, but it's never been tuned or deleted. It does have exhaust gas recirculation on it, which hasn't been removed, which is fine. But otherwise, this is a completely stock truck. It's got the stock exhaust. It's quiet when you fire it up. The engine fires right up. It's smooth. It's got the old fuel pump, hand pump right here. On the filter, has no lift pump, so we're definitely going to be adding a lift pump to this truck so that CP3 Bosch fuel pump doesn't have to work so hard to get fuel to the engine from the fuel tank. And then look, on this side, looks like we've had some bushings replaced in the past. Maybe an upper control arm as well. Like I said, wheel hub, knuckle, pretty typical stuff. Now, this truck, I'm hoping to keep this truck for a long time. It had some things that kind of surprised me on it from the get-go, and I decided right away to order these parts and see what I can do to make this a decent running and driving and reliable truck. So, what do I have into it? Well, all new rotors, all four corners. I bought all this stuff off of Rock Auto, Amazon, and carparts.com. I will put the link to all of the parts that I bought for these trucks. They will work on typically 2001 up to 2007 trucks of this body style, 2500, 3500 HD. There may be some slight variances based on the setup you have, but typically it's about the same. And one great pro for this truck is parts are cheap. So, all new rotors, one new wheel hub. I was going to do the wheel hub on the other side. The right front passenger side didn't need to. It had already been replaced. Knuckle, calipers, brakes, two new quarter panels. I actually got a new battery tray for the other side because the other one was all rusted out. New carpet, calipers, rotors, no wheel hubs, but I had to buy two new dust shields. So those are on their way. Those are going to have to wait to get done. And new cab mounts, paint. The two quarter panels are in there. And then wheels and tires, which is going to be, I think I'm going to come out on top because I'm going to sell these wheels and tires and get the stock OEM wheels and tires, find a nice pair that are used on Facebook Marketplace, and also sell those wheel spacers, get a couple new fender caps, and of course I'm going to fix other things here and there. But just to get this thing back on the road, running and driving nicely. Oh, and I also replaced my bed mount pieces here. They were a little rusty, and these were $20. But all in all, I have spent, drumroll please, $2,000 extra dollars on top to update some major drivetrain, some major safety items, and aesthetic items to make this truck a better looking and a better running and driving vehicle. So for all in all, 2004 GMC Denali 2500 HD Duramax LLY, engine parts, wheel, axle, brake parts, a couple quarter panels, carpet, inside, all of that, a decent bit of labor. But ultimately, I think that's pretty good for having an old truck, which everybody knows these are reliable trucks. It's not an LBZ. It is just before the LBZ, but it's got all the bells and whistles. I mean, I didn't have electric, all the batteries are disconnected, by the way, batteries are out, but didn't have electric seats on the Cummins that this thing's replacing. Didn't have leather seats. I didn't have a true center console. Heated seats. Look, this guy even put a updated head unit in it. We've got all the analog gauges. I've probably got an air filter replacing here. Like I said, these seats are all going to pop out. New carpet's going to be put in. For what I do, I don't need an 8-foot bed. I don't need the crew cab. This will be way easier to park, drive around town, and it'll still give me the 2500 diesel truck capabilities that I need. I'm not towing 20,000-pound boats anymore. I'm not towing gooseneck trailers. I just need to tow a ski boat around. I need a bed to throw some things in. This bed cover is going to go. I've got my 2-foot toolbox that'll go here. I mean, I think really this will be the perfect truck for me. And if for some reason I don't like it, it's not what I expected it to be, I'll probably sell it for 12,000 bucks, 14,000 bucks with all the parts that I put on it. Make a little bit of money, go get something else. But I would, no matter what, if this truck had been super clean, 150,000 miles versus the condition that this one's in for 240,000 miles, I probably would have done the rotors, brakes, calipers, wheel hub, bearings, anyway. So just a good thing to do on a truck that you don't know if it's ever been done before. But all in all, that's all I got. 2004 GMC 2500 HD Duramax LLY. This is going to be the new truck of Boat Restoration by Ben, making motor moves truck. I'm pretty happy with it. You can see this door starting to go down here. I mean, these old trucks, for some reason, these Chevys just rust out in their corners. They hold dirt, and it's a problem. Oh, and not to mention, I replaced the intermediate parking brake cable here because mine was cut right in half. We're gonna see if we can run this truck to 400,000 miles. I think I can. I'm not gonna tune up the engine. I'm not gonna throw a bunch of boost at it. I'm not gonna throw a bunch of horsepower at it. I'm gonna leave her at 305 or whatever it is, 310 horsepower, 520 foot-pounds of torque, and drive her off into the sunset. So that's lots of talking. If you have any questions, hit them up in the comments. I'm no Duramax LLY expert, but I'm gonna become one. I need to finish up this truck so I can stop driving the Bronco every day, which is doing great, by the way. You know, for anyone that didn't know, I have a 1979 Ford Bronco. It's got a 400 cubic inch big block in it, and it runs and drives fantastic. It needs new axle bearings. I put a custom 3-inch exhaust factory outlet on it. The thing's been running great and driving great. It needs paint. It's a little rusty. Probably could use brakes and wheel hubs. But overall, this is a fantastic unit. I need to paint my new but now used tailgate. It's wonderful, but it gets 8 miles to the gallon and is a pain in the ass to drive to and from work and projects every day. Well, seats came out, and there's a hole in the floor, so that's cool. This is really rusty. It actually came out pretty easy. 4 bolts, electrical connector, 4 bolts, well actually 6 bolts. There's 2 that go up in the dash there that hold it in. Electrical connector, and then the seat on the other side. So not terrible, just don't tug and pull too hard, else you'll just break stuff. Meanwhile, the new front quarter panels are on. This side fit great. This quarter panel, not so much, and it was a lot cheaper, and I can definitely tell this was bent when I got it. It doesn't line up straight. The hood's misaligned. I'm probably going to take photos and ask for a new one of those. But at the back, we're at a stall point. I got my rear wheel hub out, my rear axle shaft out, and I'm replacing the knuckle that goes here, and in between the knuckle and those pins are the brake dust shields that actually have holes in them that hold the brake shoes for the parking brakes to them. So I had to replace that. The knuckle is probably fine, but it's rusty. I'm gonna get a new one. Again, new brake calipers, everything. That stuff's on order, so I'm waiting to get it. Oh, here you go. Carpet's removed. It's just a few things that were living in here. I got both the captain's chairs out, center console out. It's actually pretty easy. 4 bolts for each captain's chair. 6 bolts for the center console. You gotta pull this panel back so it doesn't snag when you pull the center console out. Be careful, don't break that. But in the meantime, here you go. Old carpet, new carpet. I could have gotten gray. I decided to go with brown because it doesn't show as much dirt. I think it'll work fine with the interior color. But what's a bummer is this new carpet doesn't have any of the pre-cut holes that the old carpet does. So as I lay this carpet down, I'm gonna have to cut holes in it to be able to access the specific things. But look at this. Look at all the staining. It's just gross. And you can only imagine what this whole thing smells like. I mean, look at what, I mean, looks like throw up. Disgusting. And then here you go. Here's your center console with air. It's got a whole wiring harness you got to disconnect, and then a whole blower fan set up, pretty slick. Yeah, anyway, but I'm gonna get to work, vacuum this out, and then get the new carpet in and start cutting holes so I can locate it in all the existing mounts. Okay, we got everything wiped down and cleaned up like new. Check that out. Not bad, huh? Not bad. I mean, in the back here, it is fresh. I mean, that is really nice, like brand new-esque. So here's a quick and easy one, and fairly inexpensive for the LLY Duramaxes. So Garrett Turbo VGT, one of the big restrictions here is the air intake pipe to the variable geometry turbo. It's really restrictive, and I'll show you guys over here. That's the old pipe, and that's the new one. New, old. And what they do as well is they block off the oil carryover, so you're not getting oil into your turbo anymore from the intake side. I'll probably reinstall the little Duramax cap because that's classic, but you'll notice too on the new horn it doesn't have that little extra air pocket. So a little more performance oriented. This is on Amazon. It's like $60, which is awesome. You can get the normal one for like $115, but actually this looks to be in decent shape. Anyway, this new one will go right into there and replace the old, and there will be a much bigger intake, a little bit performance gains. Well, here you go for now. I just finished up all of the wheel hub, rotors, brakes, calipers, rocker panels, parking brakes, all of the replacements for every single corner of this truck. And as you can see, I also got myself some brand new factory wheels with the GMC caps and some 285/75 R16 BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, which is perfect for this truck. Quarter panel's good. On this side needs one more coat of clear coat. And this one really sucks. And I got car parts to reimburse me for it because it was not a factory guaranteed fit. And I don't even have to return it. So I'm actually going to get a new one that is factory fit, just like the other side. So this one's gonna come off, new one will go on. Not to mention, the thing that I did not expect I would be doing, I replaced the passenger side exhaust manifold because there was a pinhole leak in one portion of the manifold. So brand new manifold, bolts, new exhaust clamp for the downpipe right there. Had to remove this entire downpipe, loosen it up, cut all of these bolts, sheared off 2 bolts in the block, had to use a torch to get them out. Pain in the butt, but finally got it done. Cab mounts will be next. As you can see, there's rust. I'm gonna have to replace more stuff because of rust, but she turned out to be a really nice truck. And now, as you can see, there are all the boxes from all the parts that have been replaced. Those are brake calipers, those are rotors, parking brake shoes, those are boxes for the quarter panels. I have cab mounts, I have new cab bolts, cab bushings, exhaust manifold. Yeah. I did not expect to be doing all of this on this truck, but I do want it to be reliable and safe. So most importantly, brakes, parking brake cable, parking brakes, all of that had to be done before I was gonna drive the truck. I'm gonna paint that quarter panel one more time with clear coat, and then I'll put my fender cap, just like the back, onto it, and then slowly start replacing emblems, new light bulbs. It's got some janky headlights in it right now, and repair more rust. But for $2,000 in parts, wheel hubs, bearings, rotors, calipers, brakes, parking brakes, same thing up front. I put new knuckles on this side. There's a new knuckle on that side. There's a new upper control arm here, new upper control arm over there. New cab bushings for the cab. I bought these wheels and tires from a wholesaler. Brand new factory wheels, brand new caps, brand new tires for $1,800. I sold the old tires over here and janky spacers for $2,000. So I'm net even on the tires. I actually made a little money. And then the exhaust manifold was 80 bucks with some bolts, which was another 70 bucks. New carpet, which I have to finish installing. I'm letting it lay in place for a while. I've got some rust in the floor to fix here, some rust in the floor to fix over there. I pulled all of the seats out. There's a transmission sensor that's not working. I got to fix that. I need to deep clean in here again and again and again because I can still smell the smoke. But all that said, also, don't judge me on the carpet. I wanted a brown carpet. It doesn't show dirt. This should be a nice truck. And, I mean, check this out. Everything's just so clean and easy on it. She purrs. Whoa! Pippa's out. Pippa, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. You escaped. You dug a hole. Pippa. Well, I'll get back to the truck in a second. All right, guys, you want to see how bad my cab mounts are? Literally gone. Look at that. That's how bad these rockers are on this 04 GMC. I just redid the cab mounts on the driver's side. Kind of gone, more gone. Doesn't even exist. Was no longer with us. New bolt. Old bolt. New cab mount. Old cab mount. Bottom. Kinda. Washer. No more washer. Yeah. That is how bad the cab mounts were on this 04 GMC 2500. Don't buy a truck from Massachusetts. Replace your cab mounts, they said. It'll be fun, they said. God, there was so much rust. It'll be so nice having new cab mounts on the truck. Oh, don't mind that. It's just, yeah, don't mind that. Well, I've got all 4 cab mounts replaced now. Last one right there. Oh, there we go. 04 GMC 2500. So much rust. I'm really interested to see how she rides after having all 4 cab mounts replaced. Sorry for the break from boats, but like and subscribe. What do you guys think about that new Pursuit? Pretty awesome. I'm amped up. Lots more videos to come on the new to me 2000 Pursuit 3400. Sorry for all the talking. Not a whole lot of action on truck stuff. This is pretty typical stuff you can look up online on how to replace most of these things, but I just thought I'd share with you guys what I'm doing to fix up this truck, make it a better vehicle, and hopefully reliable for me. All right, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Well, goddamn. Used the truck for the first time to haul something tonight. Got myself a little freezer. Not a bad gig. Also, don't mind the trash. This was a smoker's truck. Smells like black ice now. But I did one of those ozone treatments last night. Freaking mint. All the smoke smell is gone. Now it just smells like Mountain Dew and black ice. Yep.